Republican from Tennessee, is with me now. Good to have you on the program, Senator.
Good to be with you. Thank you, Harris.
First of all, how serious and what level of effectiveness is this discussion on Capitol Hill among senators about Fauci leaving?
It is a very effective discussion. And as you can see, the American people who have been so heavily impacted by this virus are wanting some answers. When you look through this correspondence in these emails from Dr. Fauci to his staff, his concerns over gain-of-function research, his tendency to work with Mark Zuckerberg to create a PR campaign where he would cherry pick facts and details, the way he has been for things and then against things, the way Facebook worked to silence any post that had to do with the lab leak theory. Then you put that, Harris, with what we already know. We know the Chinese Communist Party locked down Hubei province. If you were from Wuhan, you could not go somewhere else in China, but you could go to the Wuhan International Airport and fly to the US or the EU. We know that the WHO and our diplomatic scientists were blocked from going in that lab. We know that Dr. Fauci had concerns about the money that his agency sent to that lab for COVID research or coronavirus research. We know the concerns about the gain-of-function research. These are the things that are known. And then you look at his actions. He is doing with big media and Chuck Todd exactly what he did with big tech and Mark Zuckerberg in trying to build out a PR campaign, claim that if you say anything about him, you are attacking science. And it is so interesting because I'm one of those, I stand with science and getting to the bottom of what science would tell us about this, the type research they were doing. Why were they trying to cover it up? These are answers that we have 3.5 million people on the face of the earth that lost their lives. We have hundreds of thousands of families that were affected by death, by illness, by loss of livelihood. We have precious children that lost a year of school and socialization and now have emotional problems. Harris, the people have seen their tax dollars used, and now they have questions about how it was used, who benefited from this, and why is Dr. Fauci protecting the Wuhan lab and the CCP?
You are going back and showing us the facts that were coming in during what you might call the storm, the worst parts of the pandemic. And maybe they went by the wayside because people couldn't concentrate on them. But when you talk specifically, as you did, with the facts about that lab, where does that put Dr. Fauci? Just real quickly, we're going to move on, but I'm just curious. Fire, resign, I mean, where does that put him and where does that put President Biden?
Yes. What Dr. Fauci should do is say, I'm going to step away while this is investigated. That would be the right thing to do. He is a bureaucrat who has been caught. He's dug a hole. President Biden should say, we're going to hold the Chinese Communist Party, the Wuhan Institute of Virology, and Dr. Fauci responsible while we figure out what happened, because we do not ever, ever want to go back through this again.
All right, we'll move to this. Iowa is joining several other states in banning teaching the controversial far-left critical race theory. It asserts that America is inherently racist as a country. Florida's education board could pass a similar ban today. So this is happening very quickly. Yes. A Virginia mom who survived Maoist China before coming to America is comparing teaching CRT, that race theory, to the revolution she escaped. Here's some of her powerful speech at the Loudoun County School Board.
I've been very alarmed about what's going on in our school. You are now training our children to be social justice warriors and to loathe our country and our history. This is indeed the American version of the Chinese Cultural Revolution. The critical race theory has its roots in cultural Marxism. It should have no place in our schools.
Senator Blackburn, where is all of this CRT coming from? When you hear it compared to that, wouldn't everybody want to at least question, if not push against it?
Harris, I hear from moms every single day, and I hear from friends who are naturalized citizens. They are incredibly concerned about this. They do not want our children to be taught to judge people by the color of their skin. They want our children to love this country. They want our children to know that we are a land of freedom. We are a land of opportunity, that everyone has equal access to opportunity to make their dreams come true. And as they are looking at what their children are being taught, they are horrified with this. And they want our children to know history, to know civics, to appreciate the freedoms that they have. I think this is why so many school boards and so many states like Tennessee have banned the teaching of CRT in their classrooms.
Senator, real quickly, Iowa Democrats have accused Republicans of going against their own push for free speech by voting to ban critical race theory. We can pop that on the screen. I'll ask my team to. Here's what they write. We can't say on one hand we want freedom of speech, and on the other hand say we want to hear both sides, then stifle those sides. Real quick response from you.
When you are standing on principle and you are teaching our nation's history and you want to have a discussion about how our nation has grown, that is one thing. But to say, our nation, here's the 1619 Project, this is the truth, this is the only thing you're going to hear, that is not right. And I appreciate that our states are putting a stop to this right now.
Senator Marsha Blackburn, really, really good to have you on the program as you talk both about the push against Dr. Fauci on the Hill and now critical race theory, as that is coming into view today with more action against it in some places in America. Great to see you. Thank you very much for your time.